finally number 3?
Yeah, so I think, and maybe this should have been at the top, but it's actually not being ready. As a successful, say, Boba shop owner, you'll probably get a lot of inquiries. Hey, I wanna franchise your. I love your concept, right? But there's a saying, don't put the cart before the horse, right? And you kind of step back, take stock of introspection of, hey, am I ready to do this? Because and I actually was watching Shark Tank the other day, and Mark Cuban, or maybe it was Barbara Corn, says, hey, being a franchisor is so much different than being a operator of your own 30 or 40 corporate stores, right?
I can see that.
There's lots of crossover, but there's lots of things that is different, right?
Yeah, like from my experience, an operator is the person that works inside the job, right? And then to be a franchisor, you become the leader of leaders.
Right, exactly, leader of leaders. Right now, you have to manage, franchisees, right?
Yeah.
And they're not your employees, right? It's not like you can tell them what to do the same way you can tell employees, right?
Yeah.
And so obviously you have the experience, but
they also have experience too.
They also have experience too, right? And this is also what's important to have a good vetting process.
Yes.
Too, right? You want to bring on the right people. Just because they're a lot of money is really not a really good reason to bring on a franchisee, right? You want to have a good screening process because their success is your success, right? But kind of going back is, you want to get everything ready so that you can franchise. That means, right, getting all your standard operating procedures in place, right? There's a thing that you have to deliver to the franchisee called the operations manual, and it's really, really the playbook, right? So it's like, if it was printed.
Do you help with that playbook?
Yeah, so we don't specifically do it, but obviously being in the industry, we have consultants and colleagues that will help clients. Clients do that. But yeah, so part of the process is you deliver as a franchise delivering. Now it's all digital, right? But imagine if it was printed. Probably some companies are probably this thick, right? Probably 400, 500 pages.
That's right.
But think about what a franchise is supposed to be. You're supposed to take any guy, any girl off the street, and if they're coachable, but you say, hey, I have the system for you to be successful. So the ability, your system should be set up where you can just grab anybody and plug them into your system, and if they do exactly what you say, then they
become successful.
Then they will be successful. That's kind of how simple it should be. So you have to deliver the operating agreement to them, operations manual, and so that's a big delivery on. And so a lot of operators, franchisors, business owners, they're not there yet, right? They have a lot of things in their head. They have a lot of things that they train orally, that they tell you, but it's not written down anywhere.
Yeah, like before talking today, I thought like, hey, you wanna like open my store somewhere in Texas? Here's my name, and then here, sign in. Here, I'll take 8%. After I talking to you, I was like, oh, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Based on what you're telling me, it's like a year preparation.
It could be, yeah. It could be because obviously there's the operation side, right? Because there's some not so good franchises who just do that and don't give the support, right? But
that's when you get sued.
That's right, here you get sued. And this is what I always say, right? This is what I always say. Like, everyone's happy when everyone's making money, right? No one complains when both sides making money. You making a lot of sales, you giving me my 8%, 5%, whatever. Everyone's happy. But when you start struggling, right, and you want to get out, and I say no, and then you're like really desperate because you're losing money every month, right, and you can't pay your rent, and then now you start looking to get out of the contract, and then you're looking, okay, well. All right, now we're gonna start. I'm gonna go look for a franchise lawyer and see. All right, let's see how many holes in this contract. All right, what did he deliver it on? Didn't deliver it? Did he follow the 14-day? Is a 14-day cooling off period? Did they follow the full 14-day cooling off period? Is it registered in the state that I do? So, when I talk to my colleagues who do they try to get out of these contracts and say, yeah, this is. I look at the contract and I see what I try to get out, right? And so you got to be like, when you say a year, I think that's pretty fair, right?
Yeah, based on what you're telling me, it's probably a year. It's a good amount, like not too rush, and going at a pace where everyone is comfortable.
Is everyone comfortable? Right.
Yes.
And that's just getting ready to make the first sale. between getting your standard operating procedure ready, submitting your trademark application, working with a franchise attorney to draft all your documents, because it takes us on a kind of a normal pace about 3 to 6 months to draft it, because there's a lot of information we need to take. And then sometimes, you know, we open one door and then like there's, oh, we gotta fix this, and we open another, oh, we gotta fix this. So that pushes things back a lot. Like I've been working for one client, they hired me to do it, and they're not ready. They don't have the personnel to do it. And so sometimes we'll bring in a franchise consultant and say, hey, you need to talk to them first, because you need to fix your operations side first and make sure you're ready. But it is hard, because when you have a really good concept, you'll get a lot of inquiries. And it's hard to contain kind of that excitement.
It's like everyone want to date you, but now you just need to clean up your house.
Yeah, clean your own house first,
clean
right?
your own house. Make sure, you know, like people open the door and make sure your bedroom is neat and your kitchen is neat before you start bringing in a bunch of guests.
Yes, right? Or party, right? Yeah.
Party. Before you throw a party, clean up your house.
Yeah. And you have a very messy house, right? But it is hard, right? Because people say, yeah, my franchise fee $50,000. Who's not going to turn around $50,000? A lot of people, right? $50,000 franchise fee.
I'm bringing the alcohol,
right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think, and this is the word I tell, you know, people who come talk. It's like, you got to exercise discipline. The discipline to turn away whatever cash they're waving in front of you, and the discipline to maintain your focus for at least a year, say, just to get all the things you need to do to get ready to franchise.
I think to run a franchise or having a store, you know, buying the name, you don't just throw money at it. Mm-hmm. Because by throwing money at it, what happens if, you know, some guy say, hey, you know what, I'll buy the name from you and I'll open a store down the street, I'll give you $1 million, and then this guy, he doesn't even work there, he's just traveling all the time. The store will collapse, and it just, people start complaining. People say, hey, your boba tastes terrible, and it just ruined all the names.
Yeah, and so, you know, what happens in some situations is that other store, right? They're gonna say, oh, you know, the place you buy boba from too expensive. I'm gonna go to this other place and buy it because it's cheaper. But sometimes they find it inferior quality, right? And so now you have one store that doesn't serve it very well, but that affects all the other stores because they think
it destroys the name.
It destroys the reputation and destroys the name. You just can't be anybody. So you have, like you mentioned, the Wiener Schnitzel. You have to work for the company, and that's their vetting process, right? Making sure the people that they bring on as franchisees is they know their culture, right? And they know what they're gonna what the company's gonna deliver consistently from store to store.
Okay. Closing thoughts?
Yeah, franchising, you know, is not for everybody, right? And if you, you know, we're kind of, 30, 40 stores corporate.
Yeah.
That's a success, I think, no matter what. And if you don't franchise, you know, it's again, it's not for everybody. But it you know, it's like using other people's money is a concept, right? It's like use other people's money to expand your footprint, your brand awareness. It can be very exciting, but it does come with, you know, its own set of, you know, rules and regulations and expectations. So I encourage you to investigate it at least and see it. Talk to people and friends if they've encountered, you know, the process, and do as much research as you can before going in, because it is an investment. Not, you know, for the franchisor, right? You know, you got legal fees, you got CPA fees, you got consultant fees. In California, you kind of need a certain amount of money in the bank just to be well capitalized. The state regulators want to make sure that you just don't take money and go run off.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so there's lots of regulations in California and the other states. But it can be very exciting, and it could be a good way for a brand to expand very quickly without using kind of your own money.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Dan. And the reason why I'm here today is because, you know, I would say we both do back end, but I do the transportation and the distribution of some of this boba product. And, you know, sometimes my client gets stuck, and, you know, they ask me for legal advice. I'm no lawyer. So if you are one of my clients, you're watching this video, you know, contact Dan. I'll have his contact information below, and then, you know, you start building. But like a wedding, it requires like a year to get ready.
There's lots of planning. Does take an investment, right? But hopefully, if it's like a Vietnamese or Chinese wedding, right, your guests will pay for the wedding,
Oh,
right?
oh, that's a good one. All right. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and contact us below.